What's going on, everybody? This is Tommy Har with the real side of real estate, showing you the real tangible things that you need to learn to invest in real estate. Today we are standing in front of our newest purchase. We bought this fire damaged duplex for $45,000. Fixed up, this project is going to be worth right around $250,000. I want to show you why you should not be scared of big rehabs like this. I want to show you the order of operations, and I want to take you through what it's going to take to get this thing right behind me, looking this scary, to beautiful again, and how you can make money doing the exact same. So stay to the end of this video. I'm going to give you my deal analyzer and give you a special gift at the end. Let's get to it. All right, so before we get started and walk through this house and I take you step by step, this property is actually a duplex, so 2 units, side by side. ARV is $250,000. We already bought it for $45,000. Take you through the order of operations. We're going to be doing the BRRRR method on this property. So buying it, renovating it, forcing the value through appreciation, and then we're going to refinance on the back end and create a cash flowing asset that is going to pay us forever. So you see this house right behind me. You would never think that before, but I'm going to debunk that for you throughout all these videos. Come take a look. So like I said before, this is a duplex. Each side is a 2-bed, 1 bath, and right around 1,100 square foot each. So it's a nice big place. Each of these units will rent for right around $1,100 to $1,200, but it's clearly not going to do that right away. There's a specific order of operations you need to follow from taking a house that's this fire damaged all the way to finish. I'm talking structural engineers, architectural drawings, applying for permits, the order of operations of the construction, which permits you have to pull, and what subcontractors you are going to need to finish this project effectively. Because if you don't follow all these things that I tell you, this project could take you over 12 months into another year, and you can lose a lot of money in holding costs. But if you follow the order of operations and you follow my lead throughout this entire video, you can do it super effectively and make a lot of money. So let's walk around this entire place and let's show you some B-roll of what this place looks like. All right, here we go. We're here in the living room. I believe this is where the fire started. The outside framing is a little bit torched. Into the living room now, and the kitchen actually in pretty good shape, so we don't have to do a ton there. Back in the living room, we got to rip up that subfloor, do a couple joists, obviously some windows, but the ceilings look great. We really just got to insulate and drywall. Back in through the kitchen, just plug and play. Got to get our mechanical systems done. And this is where all of the damage is, right here up in the attic. We got to rip the roof off. This is 2 bedrooms. We got 1 bedroom right here. And then we got the other bedroom right here. We still got to board some windows up. And you can see as we look up, the roof is just absolutely torched. Not sure how the fire got all the way up there, but all I know is we got to rip it off and completely redo this roofing system. So here's the hallway. We're keeping this so we can separate the bedrooms, and we're ready to get this thing rocking. So now that you've seen the damage on the inside and the outside of this property, what in the world do you do to get this thing to finished product? So there's a clear step-by-step process that you need to take to get it to there. Number 1, and this is very important, is getting a structural engineer to come through that house and give you a report on what's bad and what's good. Because if it's a fire or a big rehab or water damage, some of that framing may be good, some of that foundation may be good, but some of the wood may be completely damaged and it's not structurally sound. That person, him or her, that structural engineer, is going to tell you exactly what needs replaced and how to replace it so it can count to your renovation. And the cool thing about these structural engineers is there is a stamp of approval. So once they get their degree and they pass and they're now a certified structural engineer, you get a stamp in your state that if it is on that piece of paper, it overrides any city jurisdiction and code. So if they have this stamp and that's what they say it needs to be done, that is going to be law. So now that you have your structural engineer, you now know exactly what you need to rip out, what you need to replace, what you don't. That's structural. So you obviously got to do your mechanical systems. We're going to get to that here soon. But what you have to do next is get architectural drawings. And we'll go inside and we'll talk about what architectural drawings are, how to find those people, and what you need to look for each of those things. So as far as engineering goes in this house, we need to figure out what was going to need replaced. The biggest thing that needs replaced on this house was the complete roof deck got torched by the fire. So if you look up in on this house, the rafters are completely charred. There's holes in the roof. Everything is absolutely destroyed. So the structural engineer told us, hey, this is no good. Clearly we got to replace it. So that's going to go to our next point, which is going to be our CDs, commercial or construction drawings or architectural drawings. So what we do is we come here with an architect or a designer, and they're going to basically put a blueprint of this house together in a bunch of different pages. You're going to have a demolition plan. You're going to have a existing floor plan versus proposed floor plan. You're going to have your electrical floor plan. You're going to have a plumbing floor plan, and you're going to have an HVAC, which is your heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. Those are all going to be laid out on paper to code. And this is very important that you do your designs and your planning here, because this drawing, the sheet of paper, and if you want this sheet of paper, it's actually going to be in the comment section here. Make sure you go, you download it, and you can see what I'm talking about as we're going through this. You are going to be submitting these drawings with your new proposals to that city to get permits. They need to know exactly what you're going to be doing on this house. So you have a structural engineer that comes out. He or she is going to tell you what needs replaced structurally. Then you create your design. Where's your kitchen going? Where are your baths? Where are your plumbing lines? Where are your outlets? Where are your light fixtures? That goes on to architectural drawings, commercial drawings, or CDs. And then you get an application from your city. That city is going to make you fill out a form, attach those things that we just talked about to that form, and then you apply for the permits. Once those permits are approved, anything that you change to that, you're going to have to go through an alteration process. So you want to make sure you get this design and you get this all right up front. So here, ripping off the roof, we got to redo some framing, and we got to do all the mechanical systems over again. So that right there is the hardest part of this, making sure you get it right on the front end, because everybody now in the future of this project are going to be working exactly off of what you have written down. And let's talk about that process right now. So you apply for your permit, it comes back and say it gets approved. This permit is going to be your general building permit. Your general building permit is going to allow you to do a few things without hiring specific subcontractors. And I'll tell you what all that means here in a second. But the general permit is going to include your windows, siding, roof, exterior doors, so all of your exterior. It's also going to include your framing, your insulation, your drywall, and your certificate of occupancy. So you're checking off at the end, that is your certificate of occupancy. The things that this does not include and what your general contractor cannot do unless they're licensed in these other things is electric, plumbing, and HVAC, heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. Those are the things that you need to get specialized contractors, licensed electricians, licensed plumbers, licensed furnace people, because they are going to be the ones that pull their own permit and attaches to your permit. So let me say that one more time. You have your general permit, your mechanical systems, your MEPs, they pull a permit themselves and it attaches on top of yours. That's very, very important. That's why these are so expensive, and there's a process that goes along with them. So the first thing you do is you get your general. Now you can start your roof, you can start your framing, you can start your windows, your doors, all of the exterior, and then you get your framing right, so then you can start your plumbing after that. So after that, you're gonna have your plumbing. So now that you have everything structurally sound, you're gonna be getting to a point where you can start buttoning this house up and making it functional. So number one, we've got our bathroom right in here. After we have it framed exactly how we want it to be, and like I said, you have the drawings for this exact property here in the comments, we know exactly where the plumbing goes. We know exactly what kind of tub. We know exactly where the hot and cold goes, because once again, our contractors are going exactly off of what the plans say, and if they don't, you're not going to pass these permits as they come. So the order of operations for your MEPs or your electric, your plumbing, and your HVAC goes like this. 1 is your plumbing. Number 2 is your heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. And lastly is your electric, because your plumbing is rigid. It does not bend that much. You have to cut things out, 4-inch pipes for your toilets, all that they're big and they're rigid. Next is your HVAC. This can be your ductwork and your furnace and your air conditioner. those can flex a little bit. And then lastly, your electrical, those are little lines that can flex in and out of studs, in and out of framing, and you can make sure that you can get around things. So that is the exact way you need to be doing it. And once you pass that, you're on to the next step, which we'll go downstairs and talk about. Let's imagine here that we've done all of our framing, we added whatever we need to do, we opened up walls, we've ran our electric, we have our plumbing set for our kitchen, our bathrooms, our water heater, all that stuff. Our ductwork, we have proper air going to the rooms, we have our furnace on. The next thing that you're going to do in this order of operations, and you don't need a specific permit for, is going to be your insulation. So you're going to be insulating all of the exterior walls. In Ohio, where I'm from, and most of the country that I understand is R13. You use rolled insulation on the walls, R19 or above in attic spaces. So you're going to insulate all exterior walls, and then once you're done with that, you're going to drywall. So drywall is also included in your general permit, but it's not going to be included if it's a firewall. So if it's a house with a firewall, which I'm not going to get into right now, but if you're super close to another house, or if you're sharing a wall in a condo or a duplex, you need to have a firewall going in between those two structures. So insulation and drywall are both covered in your permits, and then after that, you're really kind of going to finish. So after that, you're getting your painter coming in, you're laying your floors, you're setting your cabinets like you would any other rehab. And we'll have plenty of other videos on that stuff. But once you have this house all prettied up again, let's imagine we're standing in this kitchen right here. It's beautiful. What we have to do is we have to call back our electrician. They have to install all of the fixtures. So you have rough electric that gets signed off on, and then you have final electric. They come back and get it signed off again. Then you have final plumbing, the same concept. You're installing your toilets, you're installing your faucets, you're installing all of the things that make this house go. And then lastly, you have your certificate of occupancy. This is where the city comes in, they do a final walkthrough, they bring the fire marshal through, they make sure that anything gas fired like your furnace, combustible air, all of these things are going to be safe to live in and inhabit rather. And they're going to, if this passes, give you the golden ticket, which is your certificate of occupancy. This is going to tell any buyer or anybody that this house is able to be bought, it's able to be lived in, and you passed all of the inspections. So that process right here in this house that we're standing in, I make it sound like it's easy, but we're already 3 months into this house and we don't even have our permits yet. So we've had to revise plans, we've had to do a bunch of things with the city. So this does take time. So you need to be budgeting accordingly. So a big rehab like this, at least 9 months, I would even bump it up to 12. So make sure you have the proper holding costs, make sure you have the crews ready, make sure you do your due diligence up front. So when you do pass, all of your people are ready to go. So we'll go outside, we'll talk final numbers on this house, and we'll get you guys going. But I appreciate you guys watching this in here. If you follow me and you understand my investing strategy, you know that I love multiple exit strategies. Like I said in the beginning of this video, this property right here is going to be worth $250. We bought it for $45. Now you guys just walked through this shithole of a property. It's got a lot going on. It's gonna be a big rehab, but our numbers are penciling out right to about $130,000. So 45 plus 130 is 175. We're gonna have some holding costs. Let's call it $20,000 of holding costs. We're all into this house right around $200,000 at the end of the day. We have two options with this property. We can refinance at 75% of the value, get a loan for $187,500, keep this as a rental, keep $10,000 in it, and cash flow about $1,000 a month just by figuring out how to do this strategy right here and doing the order of operations we talked about. Or we can wipe our hands clean, we can sell this to a house hacker, we can sell it to another investor and give them a great property, and we can walk away with right around $50,000 in profit. So, like I said in the beginning, if you've watched this entire video, one, I really appreciate you. This is our first video. It's not gonna be the best, but I'm sincerely happy that you are here, and for your time and for your friendship and for being here with us. I want to give you 20% off of the Real Side of Real Estate community. Shoot me a DM on Instagram, TommyHar05, 20% off of the community. If you want to really learn how to flip houses, if you want to really learn how to do this business at a high level, whether you're a beginner or even somewhat of an expert, I would love to have you in the community and help change your life as you're going to change mine. So Welcome to the real side of real estate. Let's get to it.